that is how you introduce a video with a makeshift hand bomb. Well, this was an interesting SmackDown Live. I think this was the probably one of the better SmackDown Lives to start 2020. But yeah, this was pretty good. Kane starting off SmackDown. Kane started off SmackDown, just talked about the Royal Rumble for a little bit, talked about how this was one of his favorite matches, and then out of nowhere, the Firefly Funhouse. Bray is absolutely fantastic, and it just keeps showing with these Firefly Funhouse segments. He just keeps coming up with new ways to just be entertaining. I said it in a comment on a tweet. Bray Wyatt or Wyndham Rotunda is the most, and if not the best, creative wrestler of all time. The way he just reinvents himself from cult leader to what he's doing now and creating the Fiend. No one is more creative than him. He is absolutely insanely talented when it comes to his promo work, when it comes to how he works in the ring. Is second to none. And the Firefly Funhouse, this was another one of those segments. Of course, Rambly Rabbit is still alive. I don't know how he doesn't. But he said that he's Shane Kane for bragging. I just wanted Kane to apologize, and Kane is not going to be the one person to apologize. Never, ever, ever. Never has Kane apologized except for Kane. Okay, moving on. But Bray says winning the Rumble is not a good idea because someone would be foolish to challenge him for the Universal Championship. And then Bray remembered what he did to Kane. Obviously, we remember what happened to Kane in 2013 because Bray debuted. Interesting weird time, but at the same time, it was like a holy shit moment when Bray debuted. Of course, he was of course, you got people chanting Husky Harris, but he grew out of that. At first, that was a holy shit debut. That was probably one of the best debuts, probably ever, of a faction, of an entire faction, the Wyatt family. They debuted in that way, taking out Kane, and then that match happened at SummerSlam. It wasn't that good, but it was a way of introducing Bray and taking out Kane, changing Kane from Demon Kane to Corporate Kane in that way. It was interesting to see. And then of course the Fiend's gonna remember, and then the Fiend again came out for Kane, but Kane apparently had a little bit of a plan. Daniel Bryan came to save, came for the save. He hit the running knee, attacked the Fiend, and this time it's like, oh, for the first time, the Fiend looked weak. Now, before people start going crazy and insane, it couldn't have been anybody else. Seth, not really. Of course, the Fiend looks. It looks the Fiend. It's indestructible, of course. But there's always gonna be that one person that's going to fight. Of course, Seth tried to do that, but Daniel Bryan is somebody different because you know how Daniel Bryan's attitude is. And of course, he took a piece of the Fiend's dreads. He took a piece of the Fiend's dreads. That was a little bit interesting to see, and a whole bunch of yes chants. And this was an awesome way to set up, the show. This was an awesome way to start SmackDown. And then, of course, when it came to break, Daniel Bryan challenged the Fiend to a strap match. I thought, okay, this is a little bit interesting. A strap match. I haven't seen a strap match in a number of years. I think the only one I remember is from 2009's Extreme Rules pay-per-view with CM Punk and Umaga. I don't think there hasn't been one recently. I think there has been one recently. If somebody can remind me, please remind me. And by the way, I'm cleaning off this little mouse that I have. It's stuff in there. It's so disgusting. I'll just keep my room a mess. But the next match was John Morrison versus Big E. Oh my god, this match was insanely good. Well, not insanely good. This was just a way to showcase that John Morrison is back. And he looks like he hasn't lost a step in the ring. John Morrison just looks like he's just goes and goes and goes. Of course, he was in Impact Wrestling. Of course, he was in uh, Lucha Underground. Of course, he was doing everything else. He was doing other things, but John in the WWE ring again, just it just can't. It just soothes my heart just to see that, because John Morrison is excellent. John Morrison looked excellent for 40 years old. John Morrison looks like a fucking legend. He looks fucking awesome. John is just fucking awesome, and of course him beating Big E, of course him beating Big E was of course the right decision to make, because hey, John's back. You have to do something with him, and yes, John Morrison is 40 years old. It's insane how he looks that good. It's insane how he keeps himself in that tremendous shape. It's really ridiculous. It's unbelievable. And it's good to see the Starship Pain, and good to see Morrison doing, flips around in the ring and just doing flips outside of the ring. That flip to Kofi Kingston was unreal. So, Roman Reigns and Uso segment, that was just basically them just trying to talk about the match, the tables match that was coming up, and then setting up a lot of things as well. And then we got a little bit of news that the Usos were facing the Revival. If you need a win, beat the Revival. Shame for the Revival that they lost the match, and they didn't give that much of a good showing against the Usos. But of course, it's the Usos. They're gonna get a win, and the Revival are just gonna lose. And the match was fine. The match was fine. Wasn't like, Usos Revival from Monday Night Raw. And I just poked myself. That really hurt. But Revival losing, it's just concerning to see. It's just sad to see those guys keep losing the way they lose. Because we know how good they are. We know how just the best they are. But they keep losing. And they couldn't even get a whole interview in, because Lacey Evans attacked Sasha Banks and Bayley backstage. And then Sasha got hurt, and then Bayley had to take the spot. And then we got Bayley versus Lacey Evans, which I thought they were going to save until, Royal Rumble. But they gave it to him on free TV first. Just, I guess, to give it a test run. So, they gave it a test run. Fire and Desire had a little bit of a segment backstage. But Sonya wanted to have Otis at ringside because she thinks Otis is a good luck charm because Mandy won with Otis at ringside. Bit of an interesting storyline. It's not, like Rusev, Lana, Bobby, Liv. It's there. But Lacey versus Bayley was the matchup, and then I thought that was a fine match. It just showed that Lacey Evans is now just someone to be reckoned with. She's forced to be reckoned with in the women's division now on SmackDown, and she looked pretty good. She looked pretty good in this match. She looked a lot better than she was a number of months ago when she did get called up to the main roster a bit too early. She's had a lot of training, a lot of practice in the ring, more with some veterans in the ring. Of course, Natalya, of course, Ember Moon, and now you get this matches with Bayley. You have a little bit of experience with Sasha Banks. She looked great. She looks great, and she is a great contender for the SmackDown Women's Championship 9 days from now at the Royal Rumble, which we did get confirmation that match is going to happen. So, of course, that's going to happen. Shorty G interview, and with him and Sheamus having a backstage brawl. This is just a little bit of a setup probably for next week. I don't know if they're going to have the match at the Rumble. Ew. That was a little bit of spit in my mouth. That's why it sounds so weird. So, yeah, this is probably a setup match for next week, or probably a setup match for another pay-per-view. Elias concert. Oh, just soothe my heart with the blessing of Elias. Elias has been a blessing for me since he's come up to the main roster. And Sami Zayn interrupts the damn concert. Now, I love Sami Zayn. But you don't interrupt an Elias concert. You do not It's the cardinal rule. You do not interrupt the music. You do not interrupt Elias. You walk with Elias, or you sit in the back and you shut your damn mouth. And then you just ruined my night. He just said Braun was in no position to challenge for the titles, for Shinsuke's IC title, and then just went on a tangent and just reminded everybody that Shinsuke won the 2018 Royal Rumble, and then he lost to AJ, and then we saw how that rivalry went down. And then Elias is Elias. He was multitasking. He was listening to Sami, and then he made a song saying Sami Zayn called Sami Zayn needs to shut his damn mouth. And the chorus begins with Shinsuke Nakamura sucks. just lovely stuff. Of course, something happened with Elias being attacked, and then Braun came out for a save. This sets up a tag team match for probably next Friday in Dallas, apparently. Of course, Rocky Johnson tribute. RIP to him. Still send my condolences out to the Rock family, to his family, everyone there that has been affected just by that passing. It's very sad to lose a father. Just very sad to lose someone like him. Especially losing a father is very difficult to deal with in life. And of course, I know Rock most likely, definitely, indeed had love for his father. So he's going through a lot. Just send his condolences to him. Send him tweets. Send him just a lot of inspiration. Because of course, Rock loves you guys. He loves every single one of us. He wants us to know that we want him to know that we love him too, and we feel his grief. We feel his grief in a way. Sonya and an Alexa Bliss match happened next. Not you, Alexa. Shut your mouth. Let's mute that. This was a pretty okay. I don't even know how to say it. I mean, Otis came out to try to be the good luck charm, and then Mandy went to the top rope. She fell into Otis's arms. Of course, Mandy and Otis having a little bit of a thing is interesting to see. In my honest opinion, this should really be the lesbian storyline that WWE should be doing, because Mandy and Sonya have more of a connection than Lana and Liv. But hey, they're doing it with Otis. Otis is getting some attention, and Otis is a big dude, a really big dude that is awesome. Weird as fuck. Okay, as I was saying, Sonya versus Alexa. Alexa won via roll up. Mandy landed to Otis's arms. They're doing a little bit of a storyline. Finally, Roman versus Robert Roode tables match. This was a fine match. I thought this was a good way to end the show with Roman. Fine match to end the show with Roman winning. Of course, putting Bobby through the table with a spear. Jimmy and Jay doing the double splash with barricades on the Dolph through a table. This was a fine match, and then Roman picked the stipulation for the match at the Royal Rumble, which is Falls Count Anywhere. So it's going to be a little bit interesting to see how those guys move around in Minute Maid Park, which is a huge park that I apparently this year, with only just a couple of days left, I'm going to say I'm not going to be able to make it. So it's a little bit disappointing for me to say that I'm not going to make it to Royal Rumble. Is one of my big plans for this year, was to attend my first Rumble event. But things happen. And it never goes to plan. I mean, I had that plan for so long. I just don't have the financial support to do it. But if I did, I would have gone this year. Would have had a damn good time with one of my close people to me. So, of course, it sucks, but there's always going to be next year. And I think for this year, I am going to do a live stream of my reaction on this channel to the Royal Rumble instead, which is kind of a thing. So, Falls Count Anywhere is the stipulation for Roman and Corbin. There's also SmackDown Women's Championship match, and then with Bayley and Lacey Evans, and finally Bray, the Fiend, versus Daniel Bryan in a strat match. So the Rumble match card is looking interesting to say the least. You also have the Raw Women's Championship with Bayley, not Bayley, the Raw Women's Championship match between Becky Lynch and Asuka. I think you might have the Women's Royal Rumble. I haven't heard any. I feel like I haven't heard any announcement of the Women's Royal Rumble. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna look it up right now and see if the Women's Royal Rumble match is taking place. I mean, of course, it's gonna most likely take place, but I haven't heard anything about the Women's Royal Rumble. Oh, there is some people: Charlotte, Alexa, Nikki, Sarah. That's it. While the Men's Rumble has Roman, Brock is entering first. Of course, AJ, Eric, Rowan, Randy, Ray, Ricochet, Drew, Elias, Corbin, Drew, Dolph, Otis, Tucker, Rusev, Bobby, Alistair, Buddy, Cain Velasquez is entering in the Rumble. He said if he had the Sun, Braun Strowman, Shinsuke Nakamura. It's crazy. It's weird. And then you have, like I said, these matches. Oh, Sheamus and Shorty G is actually taking place at the Rumble. That's pretty interesting. I think that's a really interesting match to have on the card. Hopefully all these matches do happen on the main card. I don't want these matches to happen on the pre-show because, hey, you got time. Don't add another match. Don't add another match. Simple as that. Keep it a simple card. Don't do too much. Don't do a lot. Of course, the match card I think looks really good. And the Royal Rumble has a lot of potential. I'll do my prediction video on the Rumble on Friday. Prediction video for Worlds Collide on Thursday. Actually, you know what? Saturday, I'll do my Royal Rumble prediction. And then Friday, I'll do my Worlds Collide prediction. And then Sunday, I'm going to do the live stream. And then I'm just going to chill out. Other than that, that's really pretty much all I have to say. That's all that is to the SmackDown review. I hope everyone had a really good Friday. I'm going to try to get this out as quick as I can. This is been a really very crazy week for wrestling in some sort of way. You know, NXT Worlds Collide, NWA Power. NWA has their pay-per-view coming up soon. I know that for sure. Tessa Blanchard is knockouts. Oh, not knockouts. Is the first women's world champion in the first men's world champion, or first woman to win the men's world title with the racist allegations. It's been crazy. Finally can relax and rest completely knowing that these videos are out, done, and now I'm just going to say, everyone, hope you have a fantastic Friday. I'll see you guys most likely Monday for another Raw review video, and the upload schedule will get back to normal. So, have a good weekend. I'm out of here.